What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Aeron Nix. Welcome back to the Wrestle Vlog. It's been a very long time. I apologise for that. It's been a very difficult time, but we are back, and we are back with a bang, because this weekend is WrestleMania 40, so it's time to delve in and get into the festivities with the night before WrestleMania Smackdown live in Philly. We got friends out there. We got friends wrestling out in Philly too, but here I am in beautiful old England, reviewing WWE Smackdown the night before WrestleMania. Now, obviously, I'm expecting big things, because WrestleMania 40, one of the biggest cards they've ever done. It's been hyped beautifully. Raw's been excellent. Smackdown's been really good. So this is the last night before the big one. So was it a good one? Let's find out. So, Smackdown opens with the KO show, and I'm thinking, awesome. This is three big stars with big star power. This is going to be a great segment, right? Randy Orton comes out as KO's guest, and it's a bit shit. Let's be honest. It's funny to a certain degree, but it's so much frat boy humour here. So PG, very reminiscent of 2013, 2014, when they really were trying to dumb the product down for the youngest people in the audience. Randy Orton and KO just sitting there, you know, juking and jiving, chatting shit. Oh, Logan Paul's a big dumb idiot. From a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a moron he is. And then Logan Paul appears on the screen, and this whole thing was just a vehicle so that they could show off, hey, check out how good the stadium looks, because Logan Paul is, of course, across the road at Lincoln Financial Field. He chats some shit. He's good on the mic. I like Logan Paul a lot. I'm one of the few people who really likes him. I feel like he is perfect for WWE. He's perfect for sports entertainment as a whole. He's great in our business of professional wrestling, I think. Great controversy, brings a lot of crossover. But the segment was just a bit pants, and Orton and KO go, oh, okay, you're over the road. Cool, we'll come and get you then. So they leave to go and attack him. And yeah, the golf cart thing is kind of funny, but other than that, meh. A little bit more on that, obviously. Then we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It's never good, let's be honest. It hasn't been good since the first couple. They were pretty half decent because it was a cool novelty. Obviously, everyone's seen a Battle Royal a million times since the beginning of time. But the first couple felt like a decent deal, you know. Cesaro winning felt like a big deal back at, what, WrestleMania 30, I think 31. We had, you know, Gronk, and we had a bit of star power, Mojo Rawley, Jinder Mahal, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, it's not amazing, but it's okay. This sucked too. I'm sorry, it just did. Like, did anyone actually really enjoy this? The only good thing about it was they got the winner right. That was what I was really happy about. I'm a huge fan of Jonah Rock from the Indies, so obviously Big Bronson Reed, as he's now called. He looks sick, and I like the fact that they hyped up the big guys. The thing that really stood out to me, though, Omos comes out, right? Monstrous guy. We know he can't wrestle for shit. He's called the Nigerian Giant. He wrestles like a Nigerian tree, frankly. He's got no movement whatsoever. That's fine, whatever. He's a novelty act, just like most guys of that size are. But he doesn't even get eliminated on TV. He gets eliminated during the break. And from what I can tell, it looked like a botch. He just kind of stormed over with the guys a little bit too hard and lost his footing. And I thought, if it's a botch or not, whatever. I mean, if it's a botch, shit. Not great, is it? Because it proves once again this guy can't work for shit. But if it's not a botch, what the fuck is he doing getting eliminated during the break? He's the biggest man in the matchup. They've clearly identified him as the special guy in this matchup, the one who's going to make the most noise, the one who's going to make the most destruction, and then ultimately he does jack shit. Cool. Thanks for coming, pal. Now fuck off.
Gentlemen, I think we can all agree on one thing. Well, it came out as two things, but you get the idea.
Aside from that, yeah, it's great that Bronson Reed won, but the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, it doesn't really fucking mean anything. By the way, apologies if you can hear noise in the background, because the main event, Roger Sears, I'm house sitting for him this weekend for WrestleMania, and he has got one crazy ass cockatiel, hasn't he, motherfucker?
I will pluck you, I will slather your bumpy skin with olive oil and rosemary, and then I will shove a beer can up your asshole and roast your ancient carcass until it is golden brown and goddamn delicious.
Then we get loads of filler, loads of stuff that felt like it's used to set up the smaller matches at WrestleMania. Look, not every match is going to be a main event caliber match. That's fine. It's good that other people have found their spots. For instance, the Mexicans, which is basic. It's kind of cringe. It's like a Latin American segment, but they're not produced well. None of the guys are very good on the mic. Do you know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. Rey Mysterio, never been that good as a talker. Amazing babyface, incredible high flyer, I don't ever recall Rey Mysterio being a great promo guy. He's had moments where you think, okay, fair enough, him winning the title at WrestleMania was awesome, you know, back in the tribute days to Eddie and stuff like that, but he's never had a consistent run as a great sports entertainer. It's always been about the masked superhero and stuff, and that's great for the kids, I get that. But for me, I feel like Rey Mysterio is infinitely more boring than he's ever been, and the only reason he's relevant is actually because of his son, ironically. And when it all started, it kind of felt like it was the other way around. And we had Zelina Vega versus Elektra Lopez, a minute long. It was shit. It wasn't very good. Neither woman looks like they're fantastic at working. Elektra Lopez actually looks like a slightly better worker than Zelina Vega. She's bigger, she's more muscular, she looks like a bigger star in a lot of ways. But Zelina Vega, obviously a beautiful woman, amazing human being, an amazing manager. This is where she should be in her role. She's one of the best at being a manager when she was with Andrade. And speaking of which, Andrade comes down with Legado del Fantasma, then turns on them halfway through, beats the shit out of them and joins Rey Mysterio. And yeah, cool. Right before this matchup, Dragon Lee gets beaten up. He's been taken out of WrestleMania. Kind of feel bad for Dragon Lee, but then at the same time, is he a big enough star to be at Mania? Without sounding rude, not really. Just another masked guy. Great wrestler, obviously, but that's about it. And being a great wrestler just isn't what it's all about in WWE. Yeah, sure, there are other products with better wrestling and better, you know, produced wrestling overall. AEW does do good wrestling. It's just that, unfortunately, it's booked by a fucking toddler, but that's not really my problem, is it?
In uncertain times like these, I think it's important for me to say, eat shit, fuck you. The drug company's paid for me to say every word. I have millions of dollars, and I don't care if you live... Oh, God, oh, no, oh.
Either way, match is dog shit. Storyline isn't particularly strong. Backstage, Andrade says, yo, I'll replace Dragon Lee. Cool, thanks for coming. See you at WrestleMania. Whatever. Logan Paul then comes back. He comes out. He's got his prime. Gotta say, I want one of those. I don't care. It's cool. And ultimately, if you're at WrestleMania and you see a bottle of prime and they're like, hey, limited edition prime, of course you're going to fucking grab one, aren't you? Grab all the stuff. If you're at WrestleMania, have a good fucking time. By the way, shout out to Tanvir and Cameron Anderson from this podcast, who are both in Philadelphia enjoying themselves. Have a wicked time, boys. Bring me back all the prime, please, boys. I beg of you. Limited edition prime. Yes, please. Yeah, I don't care if I'm a fuckboy at this point. I like prime. Sue me. There are much worse things you can drink. By the way, all the people who are ratting on me saying, yo, that shit's poison. You drink Monster and Red Bull and you don't want to know what's in that shit either. So, you know, cry me a fucking river.
Yeah, it's like the sort of dregs of a sort of Gina D'Acampo tiramisu. You know.
This segment's done. Logan Paul comes out and goes, I'm 2 steps ahead at all times. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, my goons. Wow, how quickly those boys have fallen, by the way. They're going to put a beat down on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And, of course, they're like, oh, we can't find him, boss. Where the fuck is he? That's terrible acting. Really bad. Like, super fake. Like, it's just not even remotely believable. Yes, wrestling is not, you know, the pinnacle of acting, but come on, guys. It's so camp, it's so cheesy. It would look out of place at Butlins, much less on the grandest stage. This is the night before WrestleMania. That's the best you've got. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens get to jump on him. Big hoorah moment. Great for the fans, but I felt like, again, it was a bit flat. All right, Logan Paul is amazing, but he looks like a goober. Randy Orton's in amazing shape. Kevin Owens, for me, feels like the least interesting element of this triple threat match. And that is hard to believe for me. Based solely on this SmackDown, admittedly, he has done some great stuff beforehand, but I don't really care. It just feels like, well, we were going to have Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul, but Randy Orton needs something to do. We haven't got anything else around it. Ah, shit, chuck Randy Orton in there, so he makes the United States title feel bigger. Maybe it does, maybe it works. Hopefully the match will be amazing, but for me, this is pretty boring in terms of build. We didn't get Jade Cargill coming out, cutting a promo with her tag team partners at WrestleMania, Naomi and Bianca Belair. They look amazing. All three of them look incredible. Beautiful women, incredible athletes, great wrestlers. Again, segment, not fantastic. It's short. It's not great, though. Again, it's another promo, just a hype mania. There's not much wrestling going on in this show. There's probably about, 15, 20 minutes of wrestling on this entire show that is worth even remotely paying attention to. Most of that was in the main. Jade Cargill's entrance looks amazing. She looks like a megastar. Shout out to my boy Ajax, who said that she wasn't very good. Got that one fucking wrong, didn't you, buddy? But yeah, ultimately, yeah, it's okay. She doesn't say anything world beating. She just says, "See you ladies at WrestleMania." Essentially, I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah, cool, whatever. Damage Control aren't even there. Bailey's not there. Whatever. This, if anything, the SmackDown lacks star power, as I'm going to mention. Then we get a tag team match out of absolutely nowhere. New Catch Republic versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. It's about 4 or 5 minutes. It's fine. It's serviceable. But it's not amazing, considering that, you know, this is the night before WrestleMania. You want to get the crowd pumped up. It was all sports entertainment and no content really in terms of physicality or athleticism. So again, I'm like, I'm not feeling it, if I'm being honest. Excuse the fan in the background, so I'll just turn that off for you guys. But yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't fantastic. And then they get jumped by the Judgment Day. It's all very quick fire. It's all very lazy. Like, get the Judgment Day in there as well. Get them out of there, you know, so we can build this. But it's not a storyline, is it? This tag match is just a whopping great clusterfuck. It's going to be fun to watch, no question. It's actually one of the matches I'm most looking forward to, because I expect a full-on car crash. 6 tag teams and a ladder match. Going to be fucking chaotic, especially with the element of 2 different winners. That's kind of cool as well. Let's hope it's not the same, because then what was the fucking point in the stipulation? But you never know with WWE and sports entertainment, but it should be fun. But again, you know, Judgment Day stand tall, all of them beating the shit out of these guys. But who cares? You're getting heat on New Catch Republic and 2 heels that nobody likes anyway. So nobody's kind of like, you dastardly bastards. There's nothing about that. And after we've seen what The Rock's been doing with Cody Rhodes, where it's been so visceral and feels so good and so real and so big time, this just feels the complete opposite of that. Like a complete B-roll effort from a Warriors remake that nobody needs to see. So again, it's a segment I just don't give a crap about. The one segment that did really well, just as a promo segment to deliver, was LA Knight. He's up massively over. This is the first time I felt like the crowd had huge energy. He comes out, big fucking pop, cuts his promo, keeps it short, simple, effective, gets his catchphrases in. Very much like watching The Rock open up a WWF Attitude Raw. That's the kind of shit I want to watch. I don't want to watch 5 minutes of pomp and circumstance and very fake promos from people who I don't believe a word they're saying. LA Knight comes out, I believe what he says. He's going to smash up AJ Styles. He's going to make him relevant. He's going to make him famous, essentially, because it's his game, LA Knight. Big pop. Crowd love the catchphrases very much. You can see why he's such a big star. It's just a shame, because as much as I think AJ Styles is one of the all-time great wrestlers of our era, if any era, let's be honest, this doesn't feel like a big marquee matchup whatsoever, despite the fact that LA Knight is very good at raising the marquee. So again, I'm like, you know? Like, it's fine, again, like I've said, but it's nothing amazing. And then, of course, we have the main event, Jey Uso versus Solo Sikoa. Good match. Not great. Good match. Okay. Dare I say, by the way, Jey Uso, probably the guy that I'm enjoying most in WWE at the moment, outside of the really big elements. And also, his match with Jimmy is the match I'm most looking forward to watching at WrestleMania, because it's been built for a long time. It's brother versus brother, and it's actually quite electric. And brother versus brother doesn't happen very often at Mania. Yeah, we've had elements of it with the Hardy Boys. We had obviously Bret and Iron, which is world class. They have a chance to really steal the show, and I hope they do. But this match was okay, and then Jimmy Uso runs down, causes interference, which means DQ finish, which protects Solo Sikoa, because they want him to look like the monster enforcer. Oh, was he going to lose? Wasn't he? Doesn't matter. And then Cody and Seth Rollins make the save, and Cody cuts a decent promo, but nothing special. Again, it's that thing of like, yeah, it's a decent pop. And by the way, Jey Uso's entrance, hands down the highlight of this entire show. Absolutely electric. That is something you have to feel. You know, when people talk about watching The Undertaker or Edge or Orton or Sting or these legends where the music hits, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, you know, the list goes on. This is an iconic entrance. I hope that in 10, 15 years' time, people will remember where they were when they were doing the Jey Uso hand thing. It looks cool. He looks cool. But the match was just okay, and the segment afterwards was just okay, just hyping it up. And Cody Rhodes says, yeah, I'll finish the story. He points at the sign, and we're done. And that's it. That's all we got. And for me, this felt like a 4 out of 10 max. Like, very flat, not much wrestling. What wrestling was on there wasn't great, except for the main. It was just serviceable. It was just okay. It needed a lot more balance between wrestling and promos. And the promos that were out there, they needed to send their strongest promos out there. People like The Rock. People like Drew McIntyre and CM Punk and things like that. And I know they've all been doing their stuff on Raw, but come on, it's SmackDown. Like, it's the last SmackDown before the big one, and I know that a lot of the bigger names have been doing their stuff on Raw, but hey, you had Cody Rhodes, for instance, who is technically on Raw. He's a talent, and he closed the show, as did Seth Rollins, so it's not like you couldn't have a crossover. I would have loaded this up with stars if you were just going to do a shitload of promos. So based on this, if I was just watching this as a fan, I wouldn't be buzzed for WrestleMania at all. I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. I am buzzed because it's a great card and I've seen stuff that's come before. Everyone's talking about The Rock attacking Cody Rhodes. That's going to be a big time matchup. WrestleMania is no doubt going to be good. But for me, if someone had told me that this SmackDown was going to be the way it was, probably would have given it a skip, because I don't really need to waste my time. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you thought about SmackDown. It'd be quite cool to know what you think. Hopefully you're watching this. If you do like it, give us a like, a share, a subscribe, all that kind of jazz. Leave a comment below. Let us know what it's like to see my face on your screens again. Sorry. But yeah, it's going to be a good weekend. There's going to be a lot of content coming from us. We have our WrestleMania predictions dropping a few hours later after this is dropped, so make sure you check that out. By the way, we did record those predictions before some of the matches have been modified. Obviously, we didn't know going into it that Dragon Lee was going to be in there instead. So, you know, the predictions are as they are. We're not going to change them for what they are. They do stand. Also, interact with our Facebook page as well. A lot of thousands and thousands of followers on there, and we'd really like to hear what you guys think as the whole WrestleMania weekend unfolds. Wherever you are for WrestleMania, enjoy yourselves. I'm going to be watching it back in sunny old England. Cameron Anderson and Tam Veer are going to be in the fucking house at Philadelphia. If you see those lunatics, go and say hello to them, get a selfie, send it to us so we can post it on social media. It'd be very, very cool to see. But most importantly, guys, have a wicked time. Enjoy Mania weekend. I've been Aeron. We'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug.